So we got another unboxing here. I've got a Landraider Crussader / Redeemer for my Blood Angels. I'm going to be assembling it as a Crusader, so let's have a look what's in the box. If it will come off. Sorry about this. Really exciting me trying to open a box with one hand, isn't it? There we go. Right. So, this is one side of the hull. We got the outside of the Landraider. This is the part you usually see. The frontal sort of spatial area there, and the vents at the back. Quite nice, this one. I do love my Landraiders, as you probably noticed if you've seen my Blood Angel army. We then got the front doors here. I will probably be gluing these shut, namely because I am incredibly lazy and don't want to paint inside. And it makes it a little easier for transportation. We've then got some of the tracks. These are all the tracks for this side. So the entire thing will be on one side of it. Then we've got the inside of the Landraider down here. The various seats which it's got on the inside. This is the part which most people don't see because, again, it's very hard to see this sort of detail. Even when it's built up and the doors are easy, you're able to open the doors and such. And then we got some lights here and here for the front, and what looks like a sensor which goes on the front as well. So we go on to the next one. So that's the main body of it, main top, going from this end. This is probably going to be this is the real big bit, so you need to pay special careful attention with this one. We've also got the slots where the lights go in here, in the front. We've then got the exhaust, which goes on the back there. On the back of it, I forgot I had the camera in my hand then. So the exhaust will go on the back here. You have to bear with me because it's been quite a while since I've assembled one of these. We then got the internal dividing part. This slots in between with the engine parts. Lovely amount of detail. It's a shame that it usually almost never gets seen. This goes in the middle part to sort of maintain structural rigidity, like many of the rhinos and etc. And that just keeps the main thing confined and gives you something to paint if you paint the inside. So now we've got the bottom of the Landraider. Not much to see, other than possibly painting the words PTO on the bottom. My attempt at poor humour. We've got a hatch here. I think this is one of the side hatches, maybe? No, it's not one of the side hatches. What am I talking about? You know, I'm not actually sure where this one comes from. Just grab my other Landraider, which I have here ready, and I can't seem to see where that one goes. So we'll have a look a bit later on, and I'll be able to let you know where that one went. Then we've got the other half of the exhaust. This is the main part which most people will see. We then got more internal dividing parts. Some computer parts and winch cables, etc. to help maintain structural rigidity. And then this part is the frontal turret. So you have the main frontal turret, the assault cannon, and you've also got the sensor which goes in there. So that's that bit. Now we get the fun part, the weapons. So we got the Flamestorm cannons, from one side and from the other side, and their ammo tanks and feeders. I do love flamestorm cannons. Strength 6, AP 3 is just fantastic at killing almost anything. But since I've already got one, I'm going to be building the other Crusader. So let's have a look at the Crusader parts. So we got the Hurricane Bolters, one side and the other. We then got the targeters, which go on top. Or these ones on, those ones might go on the bottom actually. Then we got the targeters for both of them. For them. We've then got the main parts which connect both of them. So we've got the mount which they're supported on to allow it to pivot. We've then got the locators which go on the top. And then we got another little supporting part which I believe connects them all together so that it allows it to move freely. We've then got the other half of the main chassis. Most of this is exactly the same what we've seen already. The only differences is we got two side doors. The side doors are important because if I bring in my other Redeemer here, you'll notice that they've got 4 doors on each one, which allows you to position the weapons either forward or backward, depending on which sort of weapon they are and what sort of outlay you want. So these would be used to cover up the ones which where you don't want the weapons to go. I will probably be building my Crusader Hurricane Bolters at the back. And then we got the mechanisms to allow the front door to be open and close. So we got the bar which keeps them all intact, in place, and then we got little cogs here which allow them to move freely. Again, I will be gluing these shut, so I doubt I'll even use these in the model at all unless it's structurally required. And then we got a few little more bits. We got the assault launchers which go on the front of the Crusader. We then got the all-important assault cannon. Love assault cannons. You always want assault cannons where you can. We then got a multi-melter for pedal-mounted ones. I will be putting this on because I love multi-melters. You can never have too many multi-melters. You then got the guards, which go over the pedal-mounted weapons. Sponsons, sorry. And then you've got the guard, which goes over the hull weapon, which is the assault cannon. They then got the turret mounts. So these go into play where you want the weapon to be, and these you would then mount the guns in these parts here. You then got the mount for the central gun there. You then got the side bits for the multi-melter, which go on the side there, and you got the central part which will go on the middle, I believe, of one of the parts. Oh no, it connects the assault cannon to the turret. My mistake. And then we got the top and bottom of the sponsons, which allow it to move about easily. And then we got a couple accessories. So we got a communication array here. I may be using some of these as objective markers because I think they do make quite good objective markers. You've then got another bit which you can mount the multi-melter in. And then you've got the multi-melter's shield, which goes in front of it. Telecom array, so sensor dish. You then got 2 halves of a hatches, which you can put over any hatches which you don't want open. You then got a storm bolter, although I don't know why anybody would equip a a Crusader with a Stormbolter, really, unless they plan to move. Well, not even that, actually. You would always want a multi-melter, really, because there's no real downside to using multi-melter. We've then got the parts to build one of the crew. So we've got two different types of torsos, one from standing up and one from just poking his head out. This one will be used if he's holding the weapon, otherwise it will be this guy who's just sort of poking his head out the top. We've got his torso, his arms if he's hold the multi-melter or Stormbolter, his shoulder pads, two alternate heads here, if I zoom in on them, a bare-faced one and a regular one, if I can find the thing again. Sorry about this, it's been a while since I've done any recording. There you go. We then got a Hunter Seeker missile. I won't be using this. I don't like using Hunter Seeker missiles unless it's on an ironclad, because most of the time you're not going to get a chance to shoot it anyway. So we've got our smoke launchers. Definitely want them on. Then got our searchlights. I will be putting these on, even though it will be a Blood Angel one. I do like to put these on because it does make them look better. And if you've got spare points, it's always worth putting some searchlights on most of your models. It's not bad for a point each. And then we got some accessories. So we got some tow bars here and here, a little fancy plaque, some skulls with wings. They're not quite Aquillas. A mountain of purity seals, and then another purity seal on its own. So the last thing is a monstrously big instruction book, because it is one of the most complicated tanks that there is about at the moment, showing you how to build each variant, the main hulls, etc. So a grand total of 11 steps, so it is a big build. I'm going to build this up and then I will show you then. Well, I've finished assembling the Landraider Crussader, and it's a complicated build, I will admit, but it's not too bad. You know what I mean if you've ever assembled a Landraider. It's just time consuming, not particularly difficult at all. Of course, I gave my Landraider a multi-melter. I made it so that the multi-melter and the assault cannon can be removed for vehicle damage. The Hurricane bolters. For some reason, the one on the right is incredibly free moving, as you can probably see. I've got no clue why that is. So I'll see what I can do with that one. And of course, I glued the front door shut to save on painting and other problems, like it coming open while I'm transporting, etc. But it was a relatively easy build, and one I enjoy. The good sign is that I've already got another 3 of them. So if I bring in, that takes me up to 3, and if I bring in the other 2 that I have, it gives me 1 of each type of Landraider now. So I will see you all next time. Take care.